Okay, wow, I'm finally back. It's been so long since I've done a video, but I'm really glad to be back doing this again and to pick up kind of where we left off and to move through the rest of South America before going on to perhaps South Africa and then to the Northern Hemisphere. So today we're in Argentina. I have Karen McNeil beside me. I have a new wine that I've been holding on to forever, and I have my glass ready to be poured. But let me tell you a little bit about the wine that I've chosen for today's tasting. It's Torrontes from Argentina. And this is a Spanish grape, but it is one of the most important grapes in Argentina, which you might know produces an enormous amount of wine and is very well known for making wine that's fairly inexpensive. They actually are most well known for their red wines that you can find quite frequently in any supermarket or any wine shop, pretty much anywhere you go. And the wine that they're known most for is Malbec. But there's three other grapes that are very important in Argentina. There's Malbec, and then there's Cabernet Sauvignon on the red side. On the white side, there's Chardonnay, and then there's Torrontes. You may not have heard of it before, but it's a fairly common grape in Argentina. They make a lot of it, and it is also, like the Malbec and the Cabernets and the other ones, fairly inexpensive. You don't generally find a Torrontes for over $15 to $20. And I'm going to pour it in a minute, but I wanted to tell you that it's really one of the wines that they're best known for. And this particular producer, which is Crios de Susana Balbo, makes their wine in the Salta region. You might be most familiar with the region in Argentina known as Mendoza, which is known for making a lot of red wines, warm wines. It's about on the same level as Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina. The Salta region, which is where this wine comes from, is in the very, very far north of the country. It's very high elevation. In fact, they claim to have the highest elevation for grape production in the world. I can't verify whether that's true or not, but that's what they claim. The Torrontes is grown up there, but not in such high elevations. It's grown more in the valleys to give it that fuller body that you would associate with like a Viognier or something that's very mouth-filling with fruit. And we'll try it in a second, but that's kind of what I'm expecting this wine to taste like. It sort of combines the full-bodiedness of Viognier with some of the citrus flavors and spice flavors that you might find in a Sauvignon Blanc. They're also known for being very minerally wines, some flinty character to it or slate character to these wines. But we'll try this one in a minute and see if it bears that out. Let me show you in Karen McNeil's book. She talks very little about Torrontes, but she does talk about it just a bit. What she does have is an excellent map of Argentina. And I don't know if you can see that from way back here, but let me just show you. This is the country. It's a big country. The Mendoza region is right here in the middle of the country on the western side, right near where Buenos Aires would be, but on the west side, whereas Buenos Aires is right on the coast in the east. The Salta region, where this wine is grown, is way up here in the very far north of the country. So it's a completely different topography and geography than it is down here in Mendoza, where it's so much warmer. So we'll see how that changes the characteristics of this wine, which I'm hoping is going to be light, fruity, but full-bodied, very, very dry, and kind of a refreshing quencher, a summer kind of wine. But let's see, I'll open it up and we'll try it. Okay, so I'm back and I just poured this wine into my glass, so you can see the glass has a little bit of cloudiness because the wine's a bit cool right now. I took it out of the refrigerator. So it's a little bit cloudy right now, and before I drink it, I just want to talk a little bit more about this bottle of wine. Just reading the back while I was opening it, it says it's from the Salta region, which it indicates is a 5,000 foot elevation area where this particular wine was grown. It also says that there is absolutely no oak to this wine. No oak treatment at all. Probably cement or stainless steel, I really don't know for sure, but it should not have any oak characteristics to the wine at all. And I'll tell you, when I first poured it, I smelled it, and it's funny, the first thing I thought of was a Sauvignon Blanc, but with a little bit of a creamy edge to it, which I think is that full-bodiedness, that Viognier-like quality that people talk about when they talk about a Torrontes wine. But on the nose you have a very citric smell to it, with a lot of floral scents kind of coming out of the glass. And even though this is very cold, it's very bright on the nose. It's very, very detectable. But it's not so overly citric like a Sauvignon Blanc would be, where the acidity is so racingly high that it just sears your tongue. I don't think this wine is going to be like that. You know, the acidity is very high with this wine too. But again, it doesn't have that edge that you would think of with Sauvignon Blanc that kind of burns your mouth a little bit, or like it's just sharp on your tongue. This is more smooth and it's more creamy, and I think that's again where they come in and say the full-bodiedness. It does have some mineral character to it. This is not a complex wine. It's a fairly simple wine. So you have some floral, you have some green apple, you have some crisp, bright fruits, maybe some lime in there. But I think it's a very tasty wine. It's a very pleasant wine. It actually reminds me of some unoaked Chardonnays that I've had before. But for the price, I think I bought this for certainly under $10. It was $8 and it's been some time ago. This is a really good value wine. And to be honest, if you don't love Sauvignon Blanc because it's just too overpowering for you, this would be a very good alternative. That's Torrontes. It's Torrontes. I'll put a little narrative up on the blog, on the website, so that you can see a little bit more about this wine. Maybe I'll put a link to a map so you can see where this particular wine is from. They don't only grow Torrontes in Salta. They grow it in some other regions too. There's a region called La Rioja, which is the oldest region of Argentina for growing grapes. Just north of Mendoza, they grow a lot of Torrontes there. But this is a particularly well-known region because of its high elevation. You can detect that, I think, in tasting the wine. It's very crisp, it's very clean, it's very sharp in a mineral-like way, but not in a citric way. So if you like a nice, easy drinking white, you can see this is a very light, pale yellow kind of color, maybe a yellow-greenish color. Very tasty, very clean, not a long finish, but something that would be enjoyable with seafood, or I think I read somewhere that crab cakes go really well with Torrontes. So give it a try and see what you think. I'm very glad to be back doing videos again, and I hope to do more frequently in the future. We're going to move, I think, to South Africa next, and then we'll go to the Northern Hemisphere. But as far as Argentina goes, I do want to come back and cover the other three major grapes, which besides Torrontes, Cabernet, Malbec, and Chardonnay. And we might even do something like compare Chardonnays between Argentina and Chile and see the differences in style, that sort of thing. But in the meantime, if you have any suggestions, definitely let me know. I'll try to put up some more blog entries from time to time and do more videos. At least 2 a month would be a reasonable goal for me. So, until next time, enjoy drinking.